Welcome to the Kingdom Corner and Merry Christmas. I'm Andrew, and with me, as always, is my good friend who doesn't even need an introduction, but probably deserves one. The man who steals Wiseman from nativity scenes to make them more biblically accurate, Mr. Dale Baker. How are we doing?
Hey man, doing pretty good. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. Actually, that's what I'm. Today's Christmas, and we're celebrating. Not today's Christmas. Today's Christmas Eve, and we're having a Christmas Eve service. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The Magi coming to visit Jesus months after he was born, not when the shepherds were there.
That's right. You see, how well do I know you? So, all right, maybe you don't actually steal him, but either way, there is some discrepancies there. So, but hey, today we're gonna be looking at this Christmas Day matchup
Yeah,
against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, on a quick turnaround after another quick turnaround, 2 short weeks in a row. So,
yeah.
never been done in the history of the NFL, but we'll see where it all ends up. So, come hang out with us.
Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions.
How about those Chiefs?
All right, Dale. So, Chiefs are traveling to Pittsburgh on a short week, following another short week. So, how do you
Yeah.
feel about that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of alluded to it a little bit in the last previous episodes, but it's. I don't think it's. I don't think we're going to get a very good game, or at least the Chiefs at their full strength, or the Pittsburgh Steelers at the full strength. I know both
Yeah.
their corners. The Steelers' corners are hurt. We're still wondering if Pickens is going to play, and you kind of want to see them at their best. You don't want to see them limping into, and then and like the crazy part is we're so close to the playoffs. So I mean, like this can have some huge impacts on both these teams that are both playoff bound. I think it's going to get loud in Pittsburgh if Mike Tomlin loses 3 games in a row.
Yeah. Well, and on the injury report for the Steelers, they have 5 players on there who are not even injured. It just says resting player
Yeah,
because of a short week, and I don't blame Mike Tomlin for doing that at all.
no, no,
So,
not at all.
I mean, the Steelers are still fighting to win the AFC North, so these games matter a lot to them.
Yeah, yeah. And so they're playing for something. We're playing for something. They're playing for to win the division, not be a wild card team, and we're playing for the
Yeah,
first round bye, and number one seed in the playoffs.
yeah, absolutely. So, uh, the Steelers all year have, I think, surprised a lot of people, myself
Yeah,
included. I thought they'd be a little bit better, but I didn't think they'd be leading their division at this point of the season by any means.
no,
So they're 10-5. They're the number 3 seed in the AFC playoff picture right now, leading the AFC North. So if it ended today, they'd get a home field game. So man, lots to like. So let's talk about Russell Wilson. He was with the Broncos last year, right? I
oh
mean,
yeah,
paying him, just boatloads of money. And
yeah,
then they say, you know what, we don't want you anymore. We'll still pay your salary, but go play somewhere else. And the
right,
Steelers said, thank you very much. We'll take him. And
yeah.
Mike Tomlin has him looking, I won't say like elite Russell Wilson like he was, but definitely 10 times better than he looked the last couple of years.
Right. And I think like one of those things is, some quarterbacks aren't heroes, right? And so I don't think like Russell Wilson is going to come and save your organization and carry you to the Super Bowl or anything like that. But he sure is going to help and be a part of that. And so and really like it's the perfect fit because back in those days, the Seahawks, it was like defense driven, and then Russell Wilson was just a nice cherry on top. Where the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers have historically been defense driven, and he's just again a cherry on top. Like he's nice, that a nice piece addition to their team. And so, I think the big question is: do you extend Wilson after? I guess next year. I guess you just see how he plays next year, and then you
I think
extend.
they'll extend him, but I just don't think they'll give him the max contract like all these other quarterbacks are getting. He'll get something
Yeah,
closer lines of like what Baker Mayfield got, around 30 million a year.
yeah,
30, 35. He's not going to get the 50, 60 a year.
right,
So, but hey, good for him. He got a big contract,
yeah,
and that's still a lot of money, 30
right.
million a year. So
30 million. I mean, I don't know if I could live off that.
it'd be
30.
hard. It'd be hard. But don't worry, they have those places all over cities where you can go and get free meals if you're struggling. So,
There you go.
Russell Wilson, I can hook you up with the good one here in Wichita if you're ever in town.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, but one of the good things about Russell Wilson, one thing that's been his strength for most of his career is
Yeah.
a deep ball. He has had one
Yeah.
of the best deep balls across the league for many, many years.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs have kind of, well, they buckled down a little bit on defense, but they've still been prone to give up one or two big plays a game. So
Right.
that could come into an effect hugely against the Steelers.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wrote down was just the deep ball. Even when he's covered, even when the offensive players covered well, he still fits it in there just so nicely, and it just
Yeah.
kind of drops in their hands. And so, like, yeah, we have to. And I think the only way to beat the deep ball is what? Pressure, right?
Yep.
Get him pressure, give him no
Yep.
time to throw the deep ball. And so, yeah, I think that would be a big thing to watch for tomorrow afternoon.
I think the pressure on both sides of the ball is going to be lacking. Well, I say that, but the offensive linemen are going to be tired too. So,
Yeah,
but it just seems like on limited rest on back-to-back weeks that your pass rush would
yeah,
maybe suffer the most because those are the guys that are not that the offensive line isn't grinding too, but the
yeah,
defensive guys are the ones that are rushing and the offensive guys are just reacting. And so
uh-huh,
there's a lot more energy for the defensive line, which is why they sub them in and out, and they
right.
don't do that for offensive line. So I think it's very possible that on both sides that your uh, that your defensive pass rushers could suffer.
Yes, for sure. And so, and then with Chris Jones going out with I think I saw a report he was a grade 1 calf strain, and so who knows what his availability will be. I did see him in an Instagram post where he was walking, looked like he was walking around pretty good, but walking around and rushing the passer is two different things.
Yes, yes, it is. So I mean, he got a calf strain in that game against the
yeah,
Texans, and man, somebody else. Who else was it that got hurt in that
I
game?
know that backup linebacker on the special teams got a
Oh
broken
yeah,
ankle.
Jack Cochran. He got
Yeah,
hurt,
Jack. Yeah, he got hurt,
but there's
and then
somebody else that had a strain too. I was trying to remember who it was now. But anyways, man, those short weeks. Say what you want, but
yeah,
they do affect players when you don't have that extra day to prepare and to recover from the previous
yeah,
game. I mean,
right,
that makes a huge difference.
yeah.
So it's, yeah, we'll see how that all ends up. Oh, I know, it's Juwan Taylor.
Jawan. Oh, that's right. He came. He left. Yeah, he
Yeah.
left the game, and Wanya Morris came in and filled in for him.
Hey, I'll tell you this: Wanya Morris looked better at right tackle than he has at left tackle all year long.
Yeah,
That might be his more natural position,
yeah,
which brings up another question: if that's his more natural position, if he can play that as a decent level,
yeah.
would it be worth dropping Juwan Taylor, even if you're going to have a $30 million cap hit?
Oh man,
It's a lot of money. I
it's a
know.
lot of money. It's a lot of money. I like. Do you think it's an upgrade? Is Wanya Morris an upgrade from Jawan Taylor?
I'd have to see more tape on him first at
Yeah,
right
yeah,
tackle.
yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah,
had what half a quarter, one quarter at right
yeah,
tackle, probably not even a quarter. Like very little snaps though. So
yeah,
you'd need to see uh, more snaps at that position before you can really make that decision. But
yeah.
just interesting thought there for you.
That is definitely an interesting time, but it is good that Wanya Morris is coming in and be able to come in and even without losing maybe some of his confidence, that has to happen. I mean, just being benched, it has to affect you mentally a little bit. So yeah, him coming in and filling in was a great thing. And then I mean we can talk about it, but Joe Tooney again, second week in a row, left tackle. Is he an all pro? Is he an all pro left
Well,
tackle?
I don't know about all pro, but I'll tell you this: that he gave up a few pressures, but not near as
Yeah.
many as been coming from over there.
Right. And I think that was the big thing. I mean, like going into the game, everyone was talking about that defensive line that Houston had and how those young guys were, they make a lot of pressure. And man, there's not much reprieve coming to this week because they have some pass rushers.
TJ Watt is, in my opinion, and probably 90% of the league's opinion, the best defensive player in the league.
Yeah.
And I say that with all due respect to Chris Jones and all those other guys, but
Yeah.
there's
Miles
nobody
Garrett.
yeah, Myles Garrett. There's so many guys who are like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that anybody affects a game more
Uh-huh.
than TJ Watt when he's on the field from a
Right.
defensive side.
Yeah. And then you have Hayward, who's old, but he's playing really well right up there in the middle, which makes me a little concerned because you have Mike Caliendo and then there right now. I mean, I guess that's what we're assuming is going to happen again. And so is he going to be able to face, I mean, he's an elite player. And then you have is it Hightower on the other side, on the left side of Mahomes there. And so, I mean, yeah, they got an elite pass rush, elite. And so, yeah, the offensive line's hands are going to be full tomorrow afternoon,
So
Christmas
how do you
Day.
feel about Caliendo? Watch him in that position for a few games.
I still like even I know you were at the game and you weren't listening to the broadcast, but even they, what's his name? Who does the Madden? Chris Davis. Chris Davis said, like, hey, when you move Joe Tooney, who's doing a great job, you're weakening the position a little bit by putting Caliendo there.
No matter where you move Joe Tooney, you're weakening that position.
Well, I know this is a fact, right? And so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was never making the argument that it wouldn't be a weaker position. I was making the argument that he was going to do a decent job.
Yeah. Yeah. He's done all right. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he does tomorrow. See how he handles all the pressure of Hayward. There she is. What's up, Chloe?
Yep.
How are you?
Say hi, Chloe.
We may have to bleep that out. I don't know if you want people to know her name.
It's fine.
Okay. All right. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out and how the Chiefs are able to slow down, if at all, that Pittsburgh pass rush. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do it again. They slowed down the Houston Texans and
they did.
What they have, like one sack? Is that right?
Yeah, I think one sack.
Against a defense like that the Texans have, that is very good. I think any offense across the league would take that.
Well, what did you think about Mahomes staying in the pocket? Did it look better? Like the offense looked better?
Yeah, it did. Do you think that has
like
to do
him not like yeah?
Yeah. Do you think that has to do with him staying in the pocket, or do you think it's more Hollywood Brown being back and having more weapons?
Well, so I think it's a combination of both, but I think like even there was one time where like the pocket looked muddy, but there was a hole in there for him to step up into. And then you would think in games past and years past, he's always left the pocket when there's that pressure or like little muddiness in there. But he stayed in there and he made a perfect pass and kept the drive going. And so, yeah, it almost looked pretty good, him staying in the pocket. So
almost looked like he was in playoff form.
I know. And maybe, you're like where you're at, you're just, that's what they're doing. That's what they're going to do.
So do you think Andy Reid, he is purposely holding part of the Chiefs team back in order to ramp them up at the right time for the playoffs? Or is it just things have not been working and they're finally clicking?
I think.
Is it purposeful or is it just accidental that's happening this way?
Yeah, I think I answer the same way is like, yes, I think where you made the great point is he's got Hollywood Brown back. They work together. I mean, they talked about it again on the broadcast about how much they work together in the off season, OTA, training camp, all those different things. They work together. And so like, man, a little timing issues, but still like they looked good together. And so I do think they're getting a little better there. And then also I think, what's the biggest thing in the NFL is film and having film on people and like what the tendencies they like to do. I mean, they do all those analytics. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I mean, sure, I know a little bit, but I'm sure I would just know scratching the surface of the analytics. I mean, the analytics, I'm sure, are no doubt. Hey, on third downs, they like to do this. On it's Travis Kelce or D Hop, and then so just to see Hollywood Brown in there, I think opens up the offense a little more. A sure catcher, a guy that can get open on one and things like that. So yeah, definitely.
I think it's a little bit better too. I think Andy Reid, purposely, I think the last few years has proved this that. He purposely tries to ramp it up there towards the end of the season to get them in playoff mode. Yeah. But I don't think that means that he was purposefully not trying to move the ball the rest of the year either.
Right.
I think it's a little bit of both. So, but to Hollywood Brown's point, did you notice his first two catches was a third down that went for a first down and a fourth down that went for a first down?
Yeah.
I mean, making huge plays right out the gate. I mean, you can't ask for something much better than that. So,
right.
His big thing for his entire career, though, has been his injuries. Like, he has been injury prone. And, DJ Humphries, he was in for, half a game when he came back, and the Chiefs signed him at left tackle. And then he, aggravated his hamstring. We're still not sure if he's going to be back for the playoffs or not. They're not saying much about it. Just, it's kind of more day-to-day, week-to-week kind of thing. And see how that ends up. So, not throwing shade at the Chiefs.
Never on this podcast, bud.
No, I'm not throwing shade at their leadership or their medical team or anything like that. But maybe, just maybe, they rush DJ Humphries back. I mean, I know they cleared him and probably doctors from even
Yeah.
outside the organization cleared him to play.
Yeah.
Maybe just one of those fluke things that happened, but it was his hamstring on the same knee he was coming back from having an injury
Right.
on.
Yeah.
So in this past game, you could see, at least I could see from my seat, when Hollywood Brown was coming off, he was getting upset trying to get back on there, and they were purposely pulling him off at some points. And
Right.
so I don't know if they're purposely trying to, slowly integrate him back into it so
Right.
that he doesn't have one of those injuries again,
Yeah.
or if it's something else. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think that they should just let Hollywood Brown do his thing, and whatever happens, happens, or should they just limit his snaps?
Yeah, I think one of those things is, the coaches have to be able to like protect players from themselves. And so, you don't want to rush. We need Hollywood Brown. We obviously have Joe Tooney, but I think like eventually, I don't know how you do a pitch count or a snap count with an offensive lineman, because that like it's so important for those guys to just be on the same page, working consistently together. And
Well, I'm
so
talking
like to pull
about
him,
Hollywood Brown, though. What about him?
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think they should be. He should be on pitch count. I mean, like even when he caught the ball, like not saying that he was scared to get tackled, but he would get out of bounds or he'd get down. And it was like he was kind of like a little unsure too. So like, hey, let's just work it into the game. Let's just get your feet under you, and we'll figure out this timing. But yeah, I think we need you in January, February, not December.
And I don't think Hollywood Brown's ever been a guy that's taken hits though either. He's always looked for the sideline, getting down. So
Yeah,
I don't know if that's anything new to this injury versus who he's just always been.
right.
So I mean, time will tell, and hopefully, to
Yeah,
your point, we need him for the playoffs. If he's
Yeah.
there for the playoffs, I mean, against the Texans, I think that was the best our offense has looked all year. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
what did we punt like twice maybe? I
Yeah,
mean, it
twice.
wasn't often. If it
yeah,
and so I mean, they were just moving the ball down, getting points, and you like to see a few more of those result in touchdowns and not field goals. But even at the end of the game, they could have scored another touchdown, but Kareem Hunt slid down. I think Kareem Hunt would have scored a touchdown on that play if he would have
oh
kept
yeah,
running.
oh yeah,
But he saw
100%.
what the situation was in the game and slid down to seal the game with a kneel out. So
Yeah.
don't let the team have any chances to come back. So
So I know we're supposed to be talking about the Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers who are playing tomorrow, but I think it bears talking about is Kareem Hunt looked great
yes,
Saturday, and Pacheco was nowhere to be found. And that was like I think that was cool to see, like like hey, let's go with the hot hand. And so like I know Pacheco got a couple runs, but Kareem Hunt looked like a couple weeks off, not a couple weeks off, but like kind of split into carries with Pacheco. I think that like gave him energy and, maybe helped him recover a little bit because he did carry such a load. But man, that screenplay, the running, I mean, he just looked unstoppable out there.
Kareem Hunt only had 2 more carries than Isaiah Pacheco did in that game.
Wow.
Pacheco averaged 2.9 yards a rush. Kareem Hunt 5 yards a rush. And part of that was that big run there at the end. Where he
Right.
Ran for 20 yards or whatever it was, which was his longest run of his season. So
Yeah. There you go. Kareem Hunt's at 708 right now, 708 yards.
that's pretty good.
When did he come to? Was it week 4, week 5?
Something like that.
I'm just
Wasn't
looking at these
that
stats.
long ago.
This is crazy. Patrick Mahomes has 3,600 yards and 25 touchdowns.
Yeah. So
I mean,
here's the next question. Should Kareem Hunt start over Isaiah Pacheco?
Yeah.
Here's what I think the biggest issue is with these two.
Yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco, he's got the energy and he's just going to run.
Right.
But Kareem Hunt has the vision and he can see where the
Yeah.
hole is or where it's not. He's going to jump out to where
Right.
it is. Isaiah, if wherever the call is played, that's where he's going to run. He's not going
Yes.
to. I mean, I'm not saying he's never jumped out, but for the
Right.
most part, wherever that play is called, that is the spot he's running to. Whether it's there or not, he's just going to lower his shoulder and try to run through somebody, even if a hole's not there.
Yeah.
Where-
And I think, yeah.
Whereas Kareem Hunt, he's the guy that's going to have the vision to see where the hole is, where it's not, where it's covered up,
Uh-huh.
and bounce out to get those positive yards, which is why Kareem Hunt almost never has negative run yards.
No, yeah. I
He
know.
always falls forward. Whereas
Ever since
Isaiah Pacheco does not do that.
No, and ever since you said that, I've always watched. And you are exact. I mean, Kareem Hunt's been hit in the backfield and still manages either to get to the line of scrimmage or at least gains a yard, and it's like that's unreal. And
It's
so just the way
incredible.
the way he falls forward and just moves, and so like yeah, and to be his age, 29 years old, and still doing it is pretty impressive. And so yeah, I think he's just going to get better and better as the year as we get into the playoffs because he's hungry for a ring too. And
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah,
And I think coming back to the Chiefs, the organization that drafted
yeah,
him is even more motivation
yeah,
because he knows that he could have had a ring if he had not messed up.
yeah.
And now he's like,
Oh yeah,
that was my opportunity to get Super
yeah,
Bowls and I missed out. And now I have a second chance to do it.
yeah. And
So yeah. And
and
like I
we
said
have
before, if the Chiefs happen to win the Super Bowl again, I hope they do, but
yeah,
knock on wood here. But if they do, Kareem Hunt's the guy you're gonna want to watch.
yeah.
Right?
Oh
I
yeah, he's
mean,
gonna be yeah,
every year there's like somebody to kind of watch. Like last year it was fun to watch Drew Tranquil, coming
yeah,
over from the Chargers and getting that Super Bowl. This
yeah.
year, if they pull it off, you're gonna want to watch Kareem Hunt.
Right. Exactly. And so another really like I don't know if you watched the broadcast back or replay. I know you were at the game, but another guy that really stuck out to me on the field was Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
And you may be like, well, why? The guy is playing so hard and blocking so well as a wide receiver and just doing things that you don't think wide receivers don't typically do. And I was like, man, that is like huge. I mean, like even on that Kareem Hunt long run, Juju was blocking a guy, sprinted ahead to block another guy so he could get in the end zone, but then Kareem Hunt goes down. I was like, man, that is like he is playing hard
Yeah.
for the Chiefs. And so like doing the
Right.
thing, I mean, yeah, I think that's like so
And
cool. Like we don't hear his name, we don't hear all the catches or touchdowns, but when his number is called, he is ready to go.
yeah. And people, you might heard too, but some people are saying, why is he even on the field, Juju? Because he's
Yeah,
not doing too much usually. And so if he's
right.
not doing much, why is he on the field? And to your point, when you do all those little things for everybody else on your team, the
Yeah,
coaches want to put you out there on the field.
right. And he can catch and he can score a touchdown when he's needed. He can do different things for the team. And he's a weapon. He's a weapon on there. So it's one more weapon. I think Juju probably has the second surest hands, maybe third surest hands on the field.
Yeah, probably so.
D Hop, Travis Kelsey, Juju.
Yeah, that'd be my order too.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah. So if he needs a big catch, he needs a big wide receiver, and so he's a big target. So yeah, I think it's great.
All right. So what do the Chiefs need to do to pull out the victory tomorrow against the Steelers?
Oh man.
What is the key to win?
Yeah, I don't think they have to play. I don't think they have to play perfect, but I think they got to play pretty well. I think you got to make
Yeah.
sure you're not. You got to play. You got to make sure. And we talked about it just a little bit ago, but Russ Wilson can't have all day to throw. And so
Yeah.
whether it's dialing up blitzes or it is getting pressure with the four, you got to do something with the pressure. And then I think. I'm not. I think a lot of times where the Pittsburgh Steelers, how they get going is their run game. And so I think you got to slow that down. And then I think that helps a lot because Russ Wilson's so good at the play action. And so, because he's a smaller guy and it's like, okay, who has the ball? Is it Najee Harris or
Yeah.
is it Russ? And so I think like if you can't run, the play action really isn't in effect. And so, but yeah, just covering up. I think our corners have to play well. But I think a lot depends on if Pickens plays.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because I think the Steelers are a different team without Pickens.
Well, the Steelers' strength is their defense by far.
Yeah.
So I feel pretty good about the Chiefs' defense matching them against their offense. Can the Chiefs' offense continue what they did last week against the Texans?
Yeah.
If they can do that, they will win. But can their offense get clicking? If their offense can get in a rhythm, the Chiefs will win this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were so good on third down and they were so good on fourth down even that last against the Texans. So I think if they keep that going, that momentum going. And I know they're playing for something huge. I know it's 4 days rest or whatever it is. And it's like what we get a rest for a long time if we can get right. And so I'm not worried about the rest. I know some teams get worried about rest, but I would not be worried about rest because there's so many veterans on that team that I think they would know how to get up for a playoff game when it comes to.
And I got to correct you on one thing. You said they were good on third and fourth down, and they were for the most part, except for when they were in it with Isaiah Pacheco on 3rd and 1 and then 4th and 1 and got 0 yards.
Well,
I mean, why do you not have Kareem Hunt in there? He is your big back who falls forward. I
Right.
mean, he should be your back every time you're going to run it for short yards.
Yeah.
I know maybe you're trying to keep, the team from knowing what you're doing, but I think everybody knew you were running the ball, and
Yeah.
they knew it, and they stopped you anyways. Kareem Hunt, I would bet you give him 2 chances from 1 yard, he's going to get that first
Yeah.
down.
And you know what drives me nuts is, and I know Mahomes' ankle was sore or bothering him, but put him in the I formation. Get Carson Steele, or get Noah Gray, have a fullback, and just lead and just run that way. I mean, like, what are we doing? Shotgun handoff, like I know it works sometimes and it's effective, but when you need those short yardage, you just need those tough yards. I mean, I think it just gives your running back some momentum and some speed to get up and going. And we know that that's Pacheco's game. So,
Well, they do that because they go into so many other things off that shotgun pass, where they
right.
do read options, where they do just short
Sure.
passes. So I understand your point. If you're just going to run it and
Yeah.
another team knows you're going to run it, I agree. You should do that.
Yeah.
But if you're setting them up for something later, then I understand why you're doing the other way too.
Yeah. I get it. But come on, let's just get the yard. Let's keep the drive moving. Old school smash mouth football.
All right. So Chiefs at Steelers tomorrow at noon. I think the Chiefs are finally going to break 30 points. I think they're going to get 30 exactly on the
my
dot.
goodness.
Chiefs 30, Steelers 17.
Wow.
I have a big win. I know.
Oh, that is a big win. I'm saying they're not going to hit 30 until the playoffs. They're going to get 24-10. 24-10 Chiefs.
24-10. All right.
Yeah.
Just marking you down here. All right. So, all right, for our betting lines here.
Yeah.
So this week, the Chiefs, right now at least, it could change depending on where you look, but the Chiefs are favored by 3 points.
Right.
So I'm picking the Chiefs because that's going to cover my spread that I put in my prediction.
Yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs too. Cover spread.
All right. Let's see. Pacheco, rushing yards, 45.5.
Ooh. I'm going under.
I'm going to go under as well. I think that
is a good defensive line.
it is very good.
Yeah.
Mahomes, 250.5. I'm going to go over on this one. I think their offense is going to continue moving.
Yeah, you got to go over because I think they're going to be reliant or dependent on the throw. They're going to do screens and things like that, but it'll be all passes. So yeah, I think a lot of passing.
All right, Wilson, 211.5 passing yards.
This is hard because the Pickens plays or not. I mean, that's a big deal, I think. But yeah, I'm going to go on the under. Under Chiefs corners. They're going to lock down. We're in playoff mode. We got 2 interceptions the last game. We're going to continue that.
Well, I'll tell you this: Pickens was a full participant in Monday's practice. If that helped you at all.
Oh yeah. All right. Still going under. We're going to lock them down.
All right, I'm going to go under as well. I think that the Chiefs' defense is starting to play their way again. So George Pickens, we're assuming he's going to play. He's a full participant. So 67.5 yards.
Oh yeah, over.
Let's see. I'm going to pick something different just so we're
not
exactly the same. I'll take the under then. You'll take the over. I'll take the under. All right, we'll see how that ends up for us this weekend. Hopefully the Chiefs will be able to give us a great Christmas gift with the win against the Steelers. So thanks for joining us this episode of the Kingdom Corner. This episode is brought to you by Oh Hey Threads, where a portion of every purchase goes to support missions all over the world, one super soft tee at a time. You can find your own super soft tee at ohheythreads.com. But as always, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and review. That helps us a lot. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.